texture like sun lays me down. With my mind she runs throughout the night. No need to fight, never a frown, with golden brown. Every time, just like the last, on her ship, tied to the mast, to distant lands, takes both my hands, never a frown, with golden brown. Temptress, through the ages she's heading west.
Good morning and welcome back. And aside from all of that nonsense that you saw before that I don't really want to talk about, which is why I just put the captions in, let's go for a bit of a spin. My latest new toy at the moment is this fantastic Kestrel 5700, which gives us all kinds of ballistic solutions and is kind of like the natural progressive step for my trip to Wales. I start talking about longer distance shooting and things like that, and learning more about your variables in your environment. You start getting more and more into it. And oh, Rommel, how you doing? And obviously this is a very important piece of kit. There's my friend Rommel, you've met before. And my thing to bring with me this time on this particular trip is the Kestrel 5700. And we're in a good position here really, because it's very, very windy almost all the time. So we're going to go upstairs and find a nice windy bit and look at some ballistic solutions. For those of you who aren't into long distance shooting, firearms and all that stuff, you're just going to have to bear with me. But yeah, a little bit of variety. So stay with us as we head upstairs. Now it all looks quite cool, calm and collected at the moment, but over the next couple of days things are going to change, because probably tomorrow at some stage, or maybe the next day, we're all going to be blown into sat. Oh great, we've got a really windy one up here. We're going to get some good numbers tonight. So yeah, these little vlogs will stop because you can't take the camera in, because A, we haven't got signal, and B, I blew up the gimbal on one last time because it doesn't seem to like it, and we had to send that one back to DJI. But now we've got this DJI insurance policy, so if you blow your camera up twice a year, you just get a new one, which I think is a fairly good deal. So yeah. Right, this is the lee side of the vessel. If you're not from a nautical background, some of my terminology might affect you slightly. But yeah, heading up the port side to the bow and looking forward. I can see land over there. Here, let's give you a gander. And there we are on the side of the jacket. Right, let's pause for a minute as I fire up the Kestrel. Right, okay, there it is, the Kestrel 5700. It's got 3 modes on it, and it's got weather, easy and ballistic. So let's turn on a bit of light and let's go into weather mode. Right, this screen here is going to give us the weather as we come round there. Oh yeah, it's catching us proper now. Right, here we go. There we go, wind speed. Wind speed. In fact, let's go right to the way at the end. We'll get a better read on this because we'll be standing completely exposed behind this bulkhead. 19, can we get it to 20? 18.2. Generally speaking, wind is done in knots offshore, but unfortunately for ballistics point of view, we're going to do with it all in miles per hour. You can do meters per second, but it depends on your enjoyment of the numbers. So there we are. Let's put a light on. Here we go. Yeah, about 18. Right, let's touch that one there. Good. Whoa, double windy. Right, that got the wind reading. Okay. Those of you who've watched the blog before will know that this is the Fives. This is our little strolling promenade deck where I do my exercise every morning. Actually, my morning is your evening, so it's all relative. But 125 metres a lap, and today I felt good because I did 5 kilometres, and having managed to banish the pain of that plantar fasciitis I got last time, which was horrible, wouldn't wish it on anybody. I'm starting to feel good again. Right, okay, let's set up an example. Flip that round. Turn it up. Yeah, let's go that way a little bit. Go that way, go that way. Yeah, don't need to be so tall for that. Right, that little green dot that you can see over there, move to the right, move to the right. There it is, just there. I'll just hold my hand up underneath it so you can see it. Just there. That is a tugboat, probably one of ours. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a ballistic solution for this. So let's see if we can see it. Target range, I would estimate that to be, in fact I probably wouldn't estimate it too, I'm going to say they're 400 metres away. So I come up to 400. I'll just hold my finger down on the trigger. 200, 366, 67, yeah. There we go. It's got it up to about 400 metres. Target setup. This is capturing all the environmentals that are on there. And like wind and pressure and where we are. And this also does temperature and things like that. So we're just going to hold it there just for a couple of seconds till everything's nice and stable. End capture, that's very good. Capture DOF, direction of fire. So all I'm going to do is look through the impeller at the thing, capture, and that's 205 degrees. Now wind, we already know this one, and I'm going to start the capture here by pointing it into the wind, and it says you've got to leave it for about 5 seconds of a blast. So there we go, let's get in somewhere windy. Yeah, that's licking along nicely. Okay, continue. Success! Now, adjust target range to match target. I'll come down a little bit so you can see. Continue. Right, let's see what gun we're using. The profile we've got it set up based on the gun and the ammunition and the twist and how far everything is let's use the old 308. So on the 308, to put a shot onto that tugboat there, which is 400 metres away with the wind blowing as it is, we've got to go 6.08 minutes of angle up and between 1.7 and 2.24 right. So I'm aiming off to the right just because I know that a bullet's going to get blown back alongside. The 1.7, 2.4 is because the wind's gusting at the moment. So somewhere between that, between those two readings is the actual correct one. Let's see what it would be if it was the new gun, which is a lot tastier. Right, the new 308, obviously bigger bullet, more power, more muzzle velocity. That's telling me that it only needs to be 1.57 mil up and hardly anything on the windage. Not a lot at all, maybe like 0.4, 0.5 of a mil to the right. Obviously that bullet's a lot more direct, a lot flatter, a lot more powerful. And to give you a ridiculous example, if we were using the old Ruger 1022, which fires a tiny, tiny little 2.2 bullet, to get that bullet over there to 400 metres with this wind blowing, we would have to aim 69 minutes of angle up, so it's pointing up that way, yep, and about 22 degrees over there. So it's like this big banana of a curve as it falls down. So you can really tell the difference. So yeah, that's my new toy, the Kestrel 5700, and it's going to be very useful in the future when we're starting to take slightly longer shots when we're doing our culling out in Africa, hopefully one of these days. But yeah, past about sort of 250, 300 metres, everything becomes more of a factor. And for extra long shooting, which I don't do because, well, I haven't got anywhere to do it, really, really, really big long long shots, like a long way out. There we go. So I'm tarting around with this. These things become a big difference if you're doing F-class or anything like that. You're starting to get into like spin drift and Coriolis effect and all that stuff. I'm never going to be involved with that. The idea of hunting is you get as close as you can to the target and stick one behind its ear and its vitals. But it does make the difference. So, thanks for coming with me on this little ballistic journey. I'm sorry if I confused and annoyed everyone earlier about our activities. But yeah, it's not all mischief. There is actually some higher learning going on. And having done my little bit this morning and done the crossword and sorted the next phase out, I'm getting as much done as I can before we go in the bin, because once you go in the bin, that's it for 28 days. And well, that's the end of that really. It is what it is. Weather at the moment in the Gulf is February, so we're due some weather. The last team that came out, apparently they only did like seven or eight bell runs, which is tremendous. That's like one dive every sort of 4 days. But then you do get knobbed around for being on standby, so it all sort of evens itself out. But from the sublime to the ridiculous, you're either being bored to death or worked to death. And the client doesn't like people sitting around because it likes to get its pound of flesh. So stick with us over the next couple of weeks, and we'll see if we can give you a little bit more of a look about what actually goes on out here. In the meantime, be careful, dive safely, and I'll speak to you later.